Police Minister Bheki Cele, accompanied by SAPS top brass, is visiting Finetown, south of Johannesburg, where 7 people were killed last month. Let's go to that briefing.
Long before that incident, so it's not true that you are responding because that has happened. We have been working with this community even after that. We had to escalate after that has happened, after we visited this community, after they've put some issues for us to correct. Exactly, we are bringing the report back as they demanded that you must come back in 2 weeks. Here we are to give the report and give back things that they extra requested.
All right.
But beside Mangoba, this question is it's sometimes very difficult. If you don't come, you're accused that you are not visible. If you come, you are accused, why come now? And if you say it's a PR exercise, people raised issues, they needed cars are here. People needed a mobile police station, it's here. So it can't be a public relations. Crime is a real issue, and you can't fight it if you don't interact with communities. And you can interact with communities at any time. You can't have a specific time to say we must interact with communities only on this period or this time or this year. And some of these things happen without our knowledge. If people decide to attack, they don't notify us to say they will attack an area and therefore we must be ready. So we'll always come to provide the necessary support where it's needed. And we are really grateful that the community came out and that they raised their issues, and we have to attend to those issues. Whether it's now or tomorrow or next year, we will still raise the issue. And I know when you come here in 2024, you'll accuse us. You are electioneering, it's 2024 election. So when you come before elections, you're accusing us, why now? So we don't have a right moment where we can come. We will come to communities every time when there is a need for us to go to those communities, regardless of any national or regional or provincial activity that is taking place.
Loud and clear, Premier. Go ahead, brother.
Minister, how are you? Minister, I just wanted to find Lunga from the Citizen. I wanted to find out about the issue of Patricia Mashala. Have you been made aware, and the series of allegations that she has made against you and the senior police management? What have you done? And also, Commissioner, this one from you. What do you say about what Malema has said, that you can't even read an email? And we saw also about the issue of Paulo O'Sullivan saying that you might have not been the best qualified person. Maybe we can start with you. Sure.
Well, with Michelle, I don't know Michelle. I've never seen either. I'm told there are 2 Michelles. It's she and he. I've never seen either of them. I have said they have raised the matters with me. I said my door is open to sit down and talk with them, rather than working on the things that they write. I know they work very close with one gentleman called. He used to be an advocate. This gentleman, therefore, he's no more, because I know that he has been dismissed. They work very closely, but those issues will be better served if we sit down and we talk, raise, and bring the evidence on the matters, rather than shouting on the other side. And it doesn't follow that because you have said something, the thing is so. You bring the evidence. The doors are open and all that. I know that there are things that have been checked on that, and those things have not been found, though they continue to say to call on those things. So I am making this invitation, as I have made the invitation, to say let's sit down and talk and let's listen on those things. I'll be forever available. If it needs to be, make the investigation and talk about something that we have found. The one that Sullivan said, I don't know about typing the email maybe, but the one, you must remember that the appointment of the National Commissioner was for the first time put in the process. Usually, presidents will come and announce, but this time, very eminent people were put on the process, led by the DG and the president, the advisor to the president, Professor Mafumati, the former police national commissioner, 5 years Minister of Police, Minister of Basic Education, DG from. So those were eminent persons that we had to advise the president. We believe that if anybody had anything to say. It took time. That panel was announced. It took time. That panel. If anybody had anything to say, could have come to that panel in that particular time. And we are still open that particular panel to advise the president if and when those people come to that panel. So that's another invitation that if they have anything to say, anything to raise, please raise it with that panel. It's led by the DG in the presidency.
Sure. National Commissioner, would you like to add something?
I'm not sure. Are you really, well, is the media really serious that I must respond on the writing of an email? I think it's something that it goes without saying that I don't think I should, on the media, take toe-to-toe on answering about writing of an email. I mean, I do have an iPad, I have a laptop, so what am I using those gadgets for, including the cell phone? So I really don't want to get involved in those. Thank you.
General. Let's take another question here.
Just two questions for me. Minister, you mentioned, from Eyewitness News. Minister, you mentioned that every time you do this sort of imbizos, the communities always complain about the police stations and the police in these police stations, saying that they're corrupt and all kinds of allegations. Have you set up some sort of, I don't know, directly, I know there's iPad, but have you set up something different where communities members can sort of complain about these police stations and the complaints are actually taken seriously and elevated to something serious? And just, I know you said one person was arrested, is a person of question. How far is the investigation? Just for the record, how far is the investigation to the 7 people that
Just
were
to be
killed?
clear, person of interest, yes.
The person of interest remains the person of interest, and for that it ends there. The investigation means it's continuing, that at least we have a person that we are trying to get more questions. On the second one, I did say that the Ministry of Police is supported legislatively by 2 other structures, is the IPIT and Secretariat. And you heard me what I said to a person who's a deputy head of the Secretariat. Go to this police station, find this information, feedback. Those things have been happening in many other places. Unfortunately, we are not there when you give the feedback. And yourself will never come back for the feedback. So these things, Premier, they are said, but when we respond, usually we are not getting enough platform. There are many areas where the consequential management has been taken, either through the management of the police or through the Secretariat when those things happen. We don't go to these places and we go back to sleep without really taking on board the things that have been raised by the community. By the way, community themselves, as I've established, we've established that there are people who come in this Mbizo and complain about the police and discover that we arrest those people that they complain a lot here because they are protected their own terrain. Some of them are criminals themselves, some of them are sent by the criminals to come and discredit the police. So it's a balance that we have to make, and we have been made wiser by this Mbizo on those 2 issues.
All right, Minister, there's a last bite from Newsroom Africa. Let me just check if it's in or out.
Sure.
Okay, there's 2 last questions. Go ahead. Are you good? All right, go ahead, my brother.
Okay, I want to bring it back
One
to the
time,
visa. Rasad Adams from Netwerk 24 and Beeld newspaper. 24. So, Minister, recently you mentioned in Parliament that we've got about 72 police stations that is not functional during load shedding. Can you give us an update as to what is being done on that, since we're here today talking about policing? And then, Premier, over the last 2 weeks, specifically over the last weekend, we've experienced tremendous flooding across the province. We've seen places in Centurion, in Soweto on Friday, 300 people were left destitute because of flooding there. Can you give us an extent of the damage, what is being done by disaster management, etc.?
On that one, the MEC for human settlement is already on the scene from yesterday, so your colleagues are there, so they'll give you feedback. The MEC and the municipality, they're already at those scenes.
But that is Soweto specifically?
It's all of them. It's Centurion as well as there are 3 areas. It's Soweto, Centurion, and the West Rand as well that had some floods, and the MEC is traveling across the province to give that information. I'll get that report as well. But your team is there, no, so they will give you that information. Minister.
Well, by the way, that's one thing that we have had a lot of problem about, even in this community, Premier. Most of young people that were shot here, it was during the load shedding. So it's one area really that gives us a problem that is around the country. This load shedding, as you give the schedule, the criminals know, and they calculate what are they going to be doing. So it's a question of chicken and egg. But there is addendum on the questionnaire asking what do we do with those police stations. Police station issues, most of them, unfortunately, are not for the police per se, are for the sister department, public works. That includes the procurement of the generators in those particular areas. But those police stations were working closely to say the supply chain management must stick closer with the public works so that those stations that don't have electricity, but most of them, at a certain given point, police stations don't have electricity because of the load shedding. But we are trying to work hard to say those police stations must have generators. But even fixing the police station, I've seen some people, some NGOs, some societies, I don't know whether they don't understand, but when they complain about the police station not working, dilapidated and all that problem, really, for them to come to the Minister of Police, that is uncalled for, because police don't run, they don't build their own police station, they don't maintain the police station. And I've been saying this time and again, even the Minister of Police, by the way, doesn't have the office because it's not been handed over by the sister department. I work everywhere. As I'm standing here, this is my office. So it's an addendum that we all time we put, that we work with the sister department on providing those facilities.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Minister. Thank you so much, colleagues, for your time in Finetown. Thank you, Premier.
Thank you.
Thank you.